kick, flick, skip, punch, yank. Hi, Bob the Canadian here. Welcome to this English lesson where I'm going to help you learn over 50 English action verbs. And I'm going to try and make them really easy to remember by acting them all out. Well, hey, welcome to this English lesson where I'm going to help you learn some English action verbs that we do with our bodies. Before we get started though, if this is your first time here, don't forget to click that red subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if this video helps you learn just a little bit more English. Let's get started. Let's start by talking about the eyes. When you go to bed at night, you close your eyes so that you can fall asleep. In the morning when you wake up, you open your eyes so that you can see. During the day, you blink a lot. I'm not sure exactly how many times, and you don't even need to think about it. You just blink to keep your eyes moist. If someone does something you don't like, you might stare at them. That means you just keep looking at them directly for a long time. And of course, there's a couple other things. You can cover your eyes, or you might tell a child to cover their eyes so they don't see something that they're not supposed to. And if you like someone, you might wink at them. I'm not very good at winking. I can do it with this eye. I have trouble doing it with that eye. So you might be wondering, is there anything you can do with your whole head? Well, there's two things actually. If you agree with someone, you can nod, and if you disagree with someone, you can shake your head. A nod, or to nod, means yes, and if you shake your head, it means no. So what kind of actions can you do with your nose? Well, little kids and adults sometimes will pick their nose. They'll put their finger in their nose. I'm not actually doing it, by the way, and they'll pick their nose. Sometimes when you are not feeling well, you need to blow your nose. I'm not actually going to do it because I don't need to. And if you're sick, you will sometimes sneeze. Achoo. You can also use your nose to sniff. Maybe before you plug your nose, you sniff and you smell something that doesn't smell very good. And if you're good at it, you can wiggle your nose. It's kind of hard for me to do. Hi, let's talk a little bit about the mouth. There are a lot of things that you can do with the mouth. Obviously, you can talk and you can speak with your mouth. And you can also whistle like I was just doing. You can also sing with your mouth. La 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 la. That's about as much singing as you're probably going to hear from me. You can also whisper with your mouth. So if you want to talk really quietly to someone, you might whisper to them. Another thing you might do with your mouth is hum. Maybe you don't like to sing and you don't like to whistle. Maybe you like to hum. Another thing you might do with your mouth is kiss. I'm not going to kiss Jen right now, but I'll demonstrate using my hand. So you can also use your mouth to give someone a kiss. Obviously, when you're eating food, you're going to use your mouth to chew. And if you're not feeling well, you will probably cough. We used to cover our mouth when we coughed. We used to go, but now we're supposed to cough into our elbow. And of course, how could I forget? When you have an ice cream cone, you can lick the ice cream. That's really good ice cream. Let's talk about the ears. If you are somewhere really loud, you might plug your ears, or you might cover your ears. Those are two things you can do if you're somewhere where it's really loud. When I was a kid, my grandmother used to pull on my ears when I was bad. That wasn't very nice. And the last thing you can do is if you are having trouble hearing someone, you can cup your ear. So when you cup your ear with your hand, it makes it easier to hear somebody. So let's talk a little bit about the hands. There are a few things you can do with your hands that aren't very nice. You can pinch someone. That's when you grab their skin like this. It's not very nice when you do this, but you can pinch someone. You can poke someone with your finger. You can poke someone if you have a question. You can say, "Excuse me, sir, I have a question." You can punch someone. It's not very nice to punch someone, but if you watch a boxing match, you will see them punch each other. And you could slap someone. I did this in my video last week when I was pretending there was a mosquito on me. So you can pinch, punch, poke, or slap. In the winter in Canada, sometimes the doors to our vehicles freeze shut. and you need to yank on the door to get it open. That means you need to pull really hard on it. We also have another verb, to tug. You have to tug on the door to get it open. This one's frozen shut. When you pull on something, you're trying to make it come towards you when you pull it. When you push on something, you're trying to make it go away from you. I remember when I was a little kid, my dad taught me how to snap my fingers. When you snap your fingers, it makes a really cool sound. We can also use our fingers to flick things. So if a mosquito landed on me, I could flick it away. We use our fingers to point. So if I wanted you to go over there, I could point over there to let you know which way to go. And we also use our fingers to make really bad gestures, but I'm not going to show you which gesture I'm making here because it's not a very nice one. Speaking of mosquitoes, if there were mosquitoes flying around me right now, I could swat them. When you do this with your hands, you are swatting. We also, when we really like a performance, will clap. It's also called applause. It's always nice to clap your hands when someone does a good job playing music or performing in a play. The other thing we use our hands for is we used to shake hands with people, but now we actually bump elbows. Shaking hands is no longer considered to be a good thing to do because it spreads disease. So now we bump elbows. Hey, how are you doing? When you see someone you know, you sometimes wave to them. And there's a few other things that you do with your hands that I need to explain as well. Sometimes you will tickle someone. If it's someone you know really well or a little kid, you might tickle them. That's when you kind of do this with your hand and it makes them giggle. I am a very ticklish person. I do not like to be tickled. The other thing you can do with your hand is you can rub. When you do this with your hand, you are rubbing. This is to rub. And the other thing you can do is squeeze. So when you grab something like this, like my arm, I can grab it and then squeeze my arm. Oscar likes it when I pet him, and that's one more thing you can do with your hands. If you're somewhere where there's really good loud music, you can dance. I think this is the first time I'm dancing in a video. If you don't know something, you can use your shoulders to shrug. If the teacher asks you a question and you don't know the answer, you can just say, I don't know. The other thing you can do that rhymes with shrug is hug. That's when you go like this to someone and you just put your arms around them so that they know that you like them. Let's talk about the difference between to trip and to slip. If I was walking along and there was something like this brick here, I might trip on it. So when you trip on something, it means you walk into it. If, however, there was some ice here and I was walking along and I slipped on it, that would be how you use the verb to slip. So to trip means you walk into something. To slip means you're on something slippery. Another action you can do is you can jump, or if you want, you can go on one foot and you can hop. I'm going to try not to fall over. You can also squat and look at something on the ground. And if you're playing a game like soccer, you can kick the ball. I'm pretty sure you already know the verb to run and to walk, but we also have the verb to tiptoe. When you tiptoe, you walk really carefully and quietly so people won't hear you. Sometimes little kids will also skip. It looks like this. I did it earlier. Hey, Bob the Canadian here. Thank you so much for watching this English lesson where I hope you were able to learn a few more English action verbs. If you're new here, don't forget to click that red subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if this video helped you learn just a little bit more English. And if you have some more time, why don't you stick around and watch another English lesson.